What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so this is something that was sent to me by a friend of mine last night, and I had to do a little bit more reading about it just to get a little bit more, information down pat before I talked about it. And everything I'm still saying in this video is just coming from just theory. I don't have all the details. And I don't even know if the person who's making the claims that supposedly would have been the would-be killer is telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? But this seems to have some legs to it. And when you know about the long-time purported link between the prison industrial complex and the music industry, it makes perfect sense to me. All right. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, R. Kelly and his team are petitioning for R. Kelly to be released from federal lockup and to serve, I guess, either the duration or at least a long duration from this time period until an unknown date under house arrest, because they feel that his life is in danger still. So what happened was, and let me get to this right here. Let me get to the story. I'm reading from People magazine. An emergency motion for temporary furlough was filed in federal court on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. And it alleges that three officials with the Bureau of Prisons devised a plot to have R. Kelly killed by a fellow inmate. The filing also includes a declaration from that inmate, Michael Glenn Stein, who alleges that he was asked to carry out this plot by three high-ranking individuals from the BOP, or the Bureau of Prisons, while incarcerated at the United States Penitentiary in Tucson, Arizona. In the declaration, Stein claims to be a longtime member of the Aryan Brotherhood and alleges that he even held the title of commissioner at one point, which gave him the, quote, power to order beatings, stabbings, and executions that were carried out by other members of the AB. He goes on to allege that it was a BOP official who had previously directed Stein to order assaults, beatings, and killings of inmates who approached him about ending Kelly's life. Stein claims that he was then transferred across the country to the Federal Correctional Institute, Butner, in North Carolina, the same facility where Kelly is serving his sentence, and eventually placed in the same unit as the singer. Once Stein completed his assignment, he alleges officials said he would be allowed to escape from custody and live his final months as a free man, an offer that he found appealing because he claims to have been diagnosed with terminal cancer at the time. Stein alleges in the filing that an official also approached him shortly after he arrived at FCI Butner and said, quote, "You need to do what you came here for." He says that after surveilling Kelly for weeks, he had a sudden change of heart and decided to inform the singer about the purported plot and how officials had allegedly tasked him with carrying out the execution. Stein then claims in the filing that he will undergo a polygraph examination to establish that he is being truthful, and also reveal the names of inmates whose beatings and killings he has participated in over the years. He is no stranger to legal actions, having filed well over 100 civil suits and petitions in federal court over the past 2 decades. Stein was also convicted of threatening to assault and murder a federal magistrate judge and an assistant United States attorney back in 2015 for letters he sent from his prison cell. Kelly's lawyers write that regardless of Stein's past, in light of this claim, drastic relief is warranted to protect the singer's life, saying, quote, Mr. Kelly's continued incarceration while he knows his life is in jeopardy constitutes cruel and unusual punishment. Stein also received a transfer from Arizona to North Carolina, as he claims in his declaration, according to BOP records. Kelly's attorney, Bo Brindley, says his client has been attacked in the past and that his fears of a future incident are only heightened by this belief that officials inside the prison might not adequately or outright refuse to protect the singer. He is not safe in federal custody, and to keep him in prison while he is under threat like this is cruel and unusual punishment. These are my thoughts on this, right? If Stein is telling the truth about this whole situation, then at this point, R. Kelly's life is not just in danger, Stein's is as well. And if anything, what they're going to do is the powers to be, they're going to have, matter of fact, I would argue now Stein's life is in danger more than R. Kelly's. And if anything, they're going to have someone, probably a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, since he's going to be seen as a traitor, because essentially he's trying to help a black man. So in essence, he's a traitor, if this is true. So they're going to have probably someone of the Aryan Brotherhood take him out, or maybe even somebody, now I think about it, maybe not even a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, maybe a black man. I don't know. But I do think that Stein is in danger, most definitely. And I think R. Kelly's still in danger in some way, shape, or form. Though putting this out there publicly kind of takes some heat off of him, because now people are going to be looking for it. You know what I'm saying? So if something did happen to R. Kelly, if they're that hell bent on doing something to him, then it brings more eyes and attention to the situation. So I think going public with this is the best thing that he could do. I don't know about them giving him, you know what I'm saying, a house arrest situation, even if it's temporary. I just don't see them doing it. Black people, we don't catch any breaks, man. And I'm gonna say this too. I can't prove what I'm getting ready to say here. I can't prove it, but you know, I've always talked about this alliance between the prison industrial complex and the music industry. And this alliance between the two is one of the main reasons why you saw a shift in hip hop in the early 90s. Hip hop used to be more anti-police. You had your contingents, you had your, hip hop before was, you had a faction of hip hop out there where some of it was, I guess, more hardcore, I guess, and it generally was seen as anti-establishment, anti-police, pro-black. Some of it a little bit more aggressive with the social commentary, but definitely pro-black. The messaging was always pro-black. Then you had some hip hop that was more social commentary about some of the things that we need to improve on as a people. Because at that point in time, if you look at the black community, we were starting to, it was an upswing for us. College enrollment was up with men and women at the point in time, boys and girls. We did have our problems, the crack epidemic, the drug epidemic, and all of that, right? HIV, but overall, we had made a lot of progress from the 1960s. And then, you know, we saw this change in music. And this goes to show you how important and influential music is to our community. Hip hop started becoming more about fashion and superficiality, clothing and material things, and getting drunk and partying. And you could argue, well, it was catered to young people. Well, yeah, but it started becoming more violent, and it started becoming less about, the social commentary, and more about feuding with other black people, feuding with other rappers, and more about violence and glorifying violence and sex and black on black crime. It started becoming more and more about that. And you started seeing it honestly affecting, I believe, young people. It encourages young people to go into a life of crime. And that makes sense, because if there's an alliance between the music industry and the prison industrial complex, who of course are becoming more privately owned, uh, more people invest in prisons, and the more money you make, the bigger the prisons are, which means you have to have more and more people in prison. And we know that predominantly black and non-white men dominate the population when it comes to prisons. And even when it comes to white people, you still have your white MCs out there. So they aren't exempt from this either. So I definitely believe there's a link between the music industry, an evil link, a nefarious link, because many of the people, some of your biggest investors in prisons, are some of the people who are in the top tier positions in the music industry. So what I'm getting at is, R. Kelly is a disgraced singer. Oftentimes, a singer's last hit is when they die. They become more valuable. There could be a time, I should say, when a singer is more valuable dead than alive. Who owns R. Kelly's musical rights? Interscope Records, umbrellaed under UMG. Well, I'm just putting it out there, and I can't prove this at all, right? But what's it to say that UMG, working with the BOP or communicating with the BOP, put out a hit on R. Kelly? And what's the perfect guy to do it? Some notorious, uh, you know, Aryan Brotherhood prisoner who's supposedly dying. He puts out a hit on R. Kelly, right? Transfer him to where R. Kelly is, put out a hit on R. Kelly, right? He kills him. And then he will arrest him, right? But the whole time, there's a secret deal where, hey, somehow we lost the evidence. We fumbled this case. And the case, slowly evaporates from the conscious of people, saying public memory or public attention. And let's say he escapes somehow. He escapes from prison. Well, actually, he's let out by prison officials. And we just can't find this dying man. And he's allowed to live out his last days as a free man with his family. And we just magically can't find this motherfucker. But we can hear a snake fart in Egypt. But we can't magically find this prisoner. I mean, that's not that far-fetched. Now, maybe I just have an active imagination, but I don't know about that. I mean, didn't we just see, what's the guy name? Tory Lanez, wasn't he just stabbed a couple of weeks ago in prison? I'm just saying. I think this has legs here. Now, everything I'm saying is speculation. I can't prove it, but it is what it is, man. Tell me what you guys think about this.